So welcome to the first episode. This is going to be mainly about our background and why we're even doing this in the first place.
Fucking hell. Oh no, I've just swore. Cheers. Welcome to Sota on the Sofa with me and Chloe Mack.
So let's get into it.
Enjoy.
I do product development for skincare, cosmetics and hair care, and I basically have clients who come to me with an idea of what they want to create, and I bring that to life. So that is factory chasing, liaising, sorting out with suppliers, doing all packaging designs, the legal side of stuff. So it comes from a concept in my client's mind to a final product on shelf or in hand. In a nutshell is what I do. Once I came out of uni, I did fashion at uni, which is a very broad course, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and it was just something to do and go and have fun at uni for 4 years.
I think you're fashionable.
Thanks.
That did you proud, that. Well done.
I first came out of uni, I got a job with a fashion company who I did loads of like retail stuff with them. So I got into Topshop. She made all her own clothes basically, and I just got them into distributors. So I kind of worked with her for a few years. And then when I left there, I went into a completely different job, which was a bit salesy. So that was actually where I met you.
It was where it all began.
It was. So I was a sales director for a hair extension company, and that was the start really of like getting into sort of like products. For that, the girl who I worked for brought her own hair range out, and I just went out, met loads of clients, met loads of salons, and sold the hair to them. And that's kind of where my interest came from within the beauty industry, I think, because I was just in salons all the time, speaking with clients, speaking with salon owners, business owners. I met a girl who used to come into the salon actually, who I went and worked for, and that's how I got into like doing the development side of stuff, because I worked with it for a big cosmetics company, and I kind of fell into that job. I actually went on as like within the marketing team, and we got really close. I ended up being really good friends with her, and it developed into a product development role. And then when I left there, I felt like there was a huge gap in the market for product development for small to medium sized businesses that don't need an in-house team.
Yeah.
So that's how I started doing product development. And then once I moved here, it's just kind of spiraled out of control, if I'm completely honest.
Amazing. That's something I don't think I actually know anyone that does your job.
I have never met anybody who does my job.
Yeah.
Never anyone. It's honestly wild.
It took me for 6 years to know you, longer, to actually understand what you do.
I know. And people do say that. They're like, what do you actually even do? But I think because this job mainly is an in-house development, like most people, if they're a big, large corporate company, would have a team of people in-house that develop solely for them. Whereas there's not anyone, like, say there's someone that wants to bring our product out, or a range of products, but they don't want to keep developing for the entire year. They're not going to hire an in-house team.
Yeah, they don't.
They're going to outsource it, because you're not going to need that long term. So I have clients that might bring out, say, a range of products or a product, a single product, and then they don't develop again for another 12 months, 2 years. It's just something that they want to do as a one-off rather than actually hire someone full-time.
Which is why I think they come back, because there's no pressure or commitment.
Yeah.
And that's why it works.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm not lying. When people say, how did you get into that job? I honestly fell into all areas, and I feel like when people say like, do you feel like uni, or do you feel like this helped you get to where you are? I honestly think every step is like a stepping stone of where you want to be next.
Yeah.
But I never actually knew that this was where I was going to end up. So you just follow
That's
the path.
That's when you know it's meant to be, though.
Yeah, falling into
roadblocks.
I mean, it does make you really tired.
Here we are.
It makes you tired with all these time zones. I'm like, matchstick.
Oh yeah, that is true. You are like nocturnal.
Yeah. Early mornings, late starts. Early mornings, late nights, the lot.
And the bit in between. You survive.
Surviving.
I was that kid at 15 that used to say I was staying at my mates, and I'd be out round Liverpool getting in the 051, and I'd be the one that would literally be doing all my mates' hair. I don't know how, but they would always come to me So I'd be, at the time, using the iron on the ironing board, getting the super sleek finish because GHDs weren't a thing then. And then we'd either do like straight look, hair ups. They'd always want the hair up. And I'm like, I don't know why. I'd do curly blows, yet I'd never been trained. I just had this,
I think it's in your blood, you're a
creative thing.
Scouse bouncy blow, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I started that, and then I hated school, literally was the worst years, didn't really attend the last year, and just enjoyed myself and was always into hair. Like my mum's mates would come round, and when I think about it, it's like 15, 16, go to the wholesalers, buy bleach powder, put it together and do highlights in the front. So strange, but used to do it and was fabulous, to be honest. Actually smashed it.
I'd really like to see some pictures of when you were 15 doing bleach highlights.
Oh God, no. No. But, so that then sort of set me off, and I knew I didn't want to go to a college because I was very, very hands-on. So someone, a friend at the time, had told me that I was, you know, in the north where I lived, just outside of Liverpool, the northwest, there was a salon who had multiple salons. It was called Headlines, and they had their own like apprenticeship. So I wanted that because with a college, I just think you don't end up, in my eyes, as advanced as fast, because you go to a school and you learn every day and have the odd modelling, whereas in a salon you're thrown straight into being on the shop floor every minute you're not in the theory.
Yeah.
So they throw your clients, they give you a column, you're doing models day in, day out, 6 days, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So then I knew I loved it.
It's practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect. Got the curly blow off to a T.
Yeah.
And then when I'd done my level 3, literally finished it and was like, I love my job, but I hate the atmosphere. I hated the fact it was so bitchy, so catty, like, we're all making people feel good. Why are the staff and everyone making each other feel shit?
Yeah, no, yeah.
So I'm like, this totally contradicts what we do.
It's very much like that in the beauty industry, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just so unfair. Like, I'm like, just enjoy what you do. For me, that was what forced me then to go, I am done. So I think it was, I just turned 19 and I was looking basically for a venue to open a salon. And I remember going to a hotel that had a salon in the back set up, and it had 2 basins and 2 nail desks and 2 chairs. And it was a very well-known hotel in the area. And I went in, the guy who was managing it must have been about 70, and I sat with a coffee every morning for 4 weeks, and I didn't leave it. I was determined I was going to get that space. He told me a guy from Manchester who had a chain of salons wanted it, and I was like, I can bring everything. I've already got a client base here. Promotion wise, I just basically blagged it, fake it till you make it. And the guy got so fed up with me, in the end he turned round and he went, do you know what, just through your determination, I'll let you have it.
Love that. So, I've never heard that story.
Yeah, so I ended up, and at the time the rent was £50 a week, and I shit myself because I thought, oh my God, that's like 5 blow dries. I'm gonna have to get that in. Where am I gonna get that from? I started making flyers, put them through all the hotel doors for all the people staying there, and I just knew no matter what, I'd left the job. I remember ringing my family and going, I've walked out of Headlines, I've walked out my apprenticeship, I'm done, I'm trained. And they went, honestly, you're ridiculous, you've walked out of a job, what are you going to do? Worst thing you've ever done. So I lived my life basically on a fuck you. My family were like, what on earth are you doing? And I said, I'm doing it. There's no room for failure. I think that's what drives me, the fear of failing or something not working.
Yeah.
So I just worked 7 days. I sat
That's
in
mad
there.
that's come from such a young age though, because most people get that with age.
Yeah.
Whereas you've kind of had that buried from 15?
Yeah, I think so, because I moved out quite young.
Yeah.
So it was a case of like, you can't quit. You don't quit. You just keep going.
Yeah,
Do you know what
that.
I mean? It's survival mode, really.
Yeah.
So I had that salon. I had at the time an ex-partner's mum who was a top nail master, and she said, can I come and work with you? So she did the nails and I did the hair, and I literally was so focused on like making this £50 rent a week that I just never left the place. I was there constantly, and it spiraled. It went so well, and I was there for 2 years, and then I did the same thing again. So do you know DW Fitness?
Yeah.
So that was in a big complex in Southport, and it was a huge, their luxury gym, their HQ, and there was a massive space in there. And then I did the same. And I just went in every day, sat in the coffee area, kept speaking to the manager. She was lovely, got a really good relationship. And I did the same. And she literally, I said, look, I've got a client base. I'm going to bring them. They're all going to start your gym, you know, was like giving it the spiel. And she gave me the space. And I was just so determined. And I had that salon for 12 years.
Love that.
Yeah. And I never feel or felt like work because I genuinely love what I do.
Your job, yeah.
Like, you'd have to run me over to stop me hairdressing.
Yeah.
And people say...
That is literally your mantra,
It is
isn't it?
my mantra. Run me over. That's the only thing that'll stop me. So, the salon was called Collage, and to get noticed, I remember we did a competition to name the salon to get everyone in the town involved. So I basically did like a draw, it was more of a prize draw then, it wasn't as massive on Instagram. I sound ancient, do you know what I mean? But it was a case of, we did a competition in the paper, the local paper, so that it was a choice of whoever won this, you know, they got
She's
to choose the name.
85 next
I'm actually, my Zim was parked out the front. Honestly, when I think about that, the paper, the newspaper for competitions, fucking hell. Yeah, madness. So basically, we did a competition to get the whole town involved. It started off, the room was really big. We had about 15 chairs for hairdressing. And then there was a corridor at the back. I sound like an absolute Del boy. So I put a curtain across the corridor and realised I could make money that way and rent it as a beauty room. It was actually a fire exit. And after 6 months of them realising, thankfully there was no fires, they were like, Sophie, you can't park up in here. But I was renting the space because I thought, why not? Yeah. So then they allowed me to build on extra space. So I actually did build out, and then we had a beauty room. And in the end, I worked with my best friend of over 15 years, Little M. Yeah. Yeah. We smashed it and winged it all in one. We had about 8 hairdressers, beautician who was a very good friend as well. Who was in the corridor. Who was in the corridor and then moved into a fully furnished, built beauty space. And yeah, I think all in all, there was always between like 8 to 10 of us. I did a rent-a-chair basis, and in UK it's very easy to set up, it's different to here. Yeah. And then I ended up employing a few as well. So yeah, that's how it went back home. How did we meet? How did we meet? We met at... Where did it all begin? God, there's some stories. But we met when I worked as a sales director at Spectrum One Hair. Sophie was working out at the salon for a little bit after you'd given up the Liverpool shop. Due to being in a car crash relationship. That's why I was that way. Car crash relationship. Whirlwind car crash. So she gave up the salon, you came and worked at Sota, and then we all just got mates, it's not at Sota. Wow, that's because it's so in my head. You came and worked at Spectrum, and then we got mates from there, and we've been on a few nights out, and then this was actually my first trip to Dubai when Sophie had decided that she was going to move, which was what, 7 years ago now? It'll be 7 years in February, or end of March, was it? Yeah. Yeah, like now really, this time of year. 7-year anniversary, let's book a spa day. Would you want anyway? So the story of the trip to Dubai was a wild one because my dad, bless him, took us to the airport because what a babe. He takes me. He basically has a full-time job, well he did when I lived at home, dropping me off at the airport. He drove us to the airport. Sophie was in the back of the car, hungover because she'd been out the night before, packed her whole life into 2 suitcases. We get to the airport check-in desk. No, she actually goes green in the car, and I was like, is everything all right? She's like, I booked the flight in the wrong name. And I was like, what? You booked the flight in the wrong name? Anyway, we get to the check-in desk. They basically wouldn't let her change the name, would they? We were like 8 minutes out, so they said to us, look, we can't do anything. I was like, I'm here, there's my passport, it's me, you can see me. They were like, but you're 8 minutes out of the hour bracket. It had to be an hour window before check-in, and she was 8 minutes out. Anyway, they wouldn't let her do it, so she had to buy a new flight. So we got on this flight, and she's like, I need to get a full head of highlights in the next day. I'm like that sweating, thinking, oh my God, that was just a bit of spare cash I had for when I landed. And I was like, shit. And she had to start from scratch. In the morning. And to be fair, you smashed it, love.
So she's been here for the full 6 years, and I have been that annoying friend that has been backwards and forwards. Since I went freelance, I have probably spent more time, well, obviously I spend more time here now because I live here, but before I spent more time here than what I did at home. The year before I moved here, I was doing like 10 trips backwards and forwards.
Which would have been more flights than actually what rent would have cost her.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think it was just the fear of, I've got a strong business. If I come here, not realising like it can absolutely just skyrocket. But I think it was making the move. Obviously, you own your apartment at home and everything. It was like, what do I do? But you just did it, didn't you, after last year? It took, what, 6 years?
6 years of backwards and forwards, the last year of 10 trips. And then I went home and just thought, I'm going to actually do it and move. I love it. I was getting to the point where I was like crying when I was leaving Dubai, and I felt so sad and was trying to wait for the next trip and thinking, when can I go back? And because I was freelance, I'd made the option to be able to, I built a business by this point to be able to work from anywhere. So you can work from anywhere, but you sat in rainy Manchester. Like, it wasn't really giving the vibes, you know?
No, it wasn't.
So here we are. The vibes is this. I moved to Dubai because, well, once I'd spent so much time here and I was getting like a group of friends and I was like enjoying it so much, and every time I came, the trips were getting longer and longer. So it was like, I'd book a 2-week trip and I'd be here for a month. I'd book a 3-week trip and I'd be here for 6 weeks. Like, it would always, every time was getting more and more. And the more time you spend here, the easier it is to make friends, for it to become a normal routine. Being on holiday and being here living is completely different. Like, coming for a 2-week trip, you end up going out loads, you do socializing, you do going out for dinner, whereas when you're here for a long period of time, it becomes the norm of like, you get into a bit of a routine of like going to the gym and all that, and I felt like I was getting so comfortable, and then I was going home again. So and the more I was spending time here and seeing you and seeing what you'd done with the business and whatever, I think it was just a bit of an inspiration to be like, anyone can actually do it, you've just got to do it. Sophie was like, if you do not book that flight, you are not going to do it. So when I went home it was after the Forever Sundays trip actually. It was, yeah. I did a big launch campaign for one of my best friend's companies, and we brought loads of girls over from the UK. We did a massive shoot and we had a villa on the Palm and did a big shoot for that, and that was amazing. And that trip was, they were here for 5 days and I stayed for 6 weeks, so I stayed like July. So it was a hot time to be here as well. Yeah, and you still loved it. And I loved it. I literally got so settled in. I was doing loads of work. I was just like doing everything from a laptop. I just was like really enjoying it. Was gymming loads, got a big group of mates that I was going to the gym with and just like having a really good time. And then after that, I went home and said to my parents, I know they were absolutely wounded because they were just like, what on earth? They're like, how am I going to tell my mum? I know, I was so scared to tell my mum. But do you know what? She was really sad, and I do miss them all the time, but also you build such a nice life here and it's just a completely different way of life, and I've just stayed really focused and really committed to like what I wanted to do. And it, like, there's 2 ways of doing Dubai. I feel like some people come out and want to like party, and like there's that side of it where it's like really fun, out late and doing all that sort of stuff, or there's like the really wholesome like hustle vibe, which is like working, hustling, and honestly it becomes so addictive being in this like rat race of like work. Definitely. I moved for a balanced life because I thought I worked a lot having the business at home for 12 years, and when I came here I said to you, my plan was get really brown, sunbathe 3 days and work 3 days. I think by week 4... Sophie actually said to me, I would never, ever again own a salon. Ever again. No. Mark my words, you did say that. Pay me to open a salon. I am done. I don't want the responsibility, the stress, the pressure. But I love my job and I'm going to have a balanced life and live in Dubai. I'm going to bronze 3 days and work 3 days. And those 3 days I gave my all. I remember Andy used to ring me and say, where are you? What are you doing? It's 1 a.m. I'd be in a lift with my 3 wheels left on my little metal case, and I'd be coming down the lifts in Paramount. And I remember he was like, it's 1 a.m, but I would do anything. And I think that's what strikes me about people in Dubai that are fresh off the boat, that think they're going to come here, earn loads of money, it's dead easy. It's not, it's the opposite. If you take your foot off the gas, someone else will replace you. Yeah. So you need to be at the top. There's that many people here that do want to hustle. Yeah. You've got to hustle harder all the time. You've got the fake hustlers
guaranteed. I can put a date on it. They come, I'm going to work, I'm going to give it my all, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be that. I did it at home, I'm going to do it here. 8 weeks, I'm not busy, you know, how I'm going to get busier, what I'm going to do. Spend more time focusing on the business than the party scene or posting yourselves. You know, it's just like you have to hustle harder than you've ever hustled before. And like I said, the minute the foot comes off the gas, someone will take your place.
But I think here as well, like, the rewards are so good when you hustle hard. Like, there's that much potential for businesses to grow. Like, I've grown my business so much from being here.
Scaled,
like,
massive.
Ridiculous amount. Ridiculous.
And in another country, I don't feel that you can scale up that fast.
No. There's so much potential. You've just got to go out there and find it. You've got to meet new people. You've got to build your business. You've got to be working non-stop to get where you want to be.
It's the easiest place to network.
Yeah, it is.
It's the easiest place, but you have to put yourself in them positions.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not going to come to you. I always say to the team, you know, so like true facts, being brutally honest, busy people get busy.
Yeah.
Quiet people do not get busy. It is not going to come to you. It's not going to fall on your lap. You should never expect just because you're in Dubai, you're going to earn all this money. Busy people get busy. Whether you've not got someone in the chair or a client to do, you can still literally produce content in so many other ways.
Yeah.
It is down to you. It's no one else's fault. It's not the surroundings, you know, it's down to you.
100%.
You can't blame anyone for something, you know, not going right whilst you're building. You've got to eat, sleep and breathe what you're doing for it to work. And then you know what? You get back what you give out. So 100%, if you're given 110, you're going to get 110 back.
Yeah, 100%. I once had a business coach that actually said to me, like, what was the saying? It's something like, just do better and be better. And I was like, yeah.
All right, mate. You're like, all right.
I was like, fucking hell, okay.
Fine.
My dad will shout at me for that. Do better, be better, not better. That sounded so common, didn't it? But yeah, do better, be better.
I love that. Motto for the day?
Do better, be better. I feel like it literally has just been networking, meeting the right people, putting myself in the right circles. I've met people at the gym. I've met loads of people here. Yeah. Some of like clients that I've met that are now clients that I'm developing for, we've met through
being in
the salon, making friends with clients in the salon who have then invited me to things, and I've met people through them. It's just all about like networking, and honestly it comes from word of mouth. Like I think as well, because my service is quite niche, you either want it or you don't. So if you know someone that wants it, and one thing I find about Dubai that I don't really get when I'm at home, Dubai is very, like, if someone can help you in a certain way, they will help you. Like, the things that, like, obviously we're really good friends, so it's easier for us to help each other, but the things we can do for each other and the circles we all put each other in, and you pass contacts on, and everyone's willing to help people here. When you meet someone here, no one's that bothered if they then pass your details on to someone else.
Everyone's willing to help.
Yeah, because everyone's on that like hustle, all that kind of vibe. Whereas at home, I kind of feel like, no, everyone gatekeeps a little bit. Doesn't really want to like pass your details on to people. I'm like, someone calls me and says, do you know anyone that can help me with this? I'm like, yeah, of course. Plug them with this. Can you get someone that does this? Do you know a personal shopper? Yeah, send them Harley's details. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that you plug people for everything, and people do the same thing here. Whereas at home, it's a bit more like gatekeeping. Like, if you've got someone, you don't want to share it, and like it's all a bit weird. Here, I find it's easier to grow when you put yourselves in the right circles, and you're spending time with the right people, and you're putting all your energy into building. It kind of
you grow at, like, you do grow at a completely different rate to what you would in the UK, because for that reason, like,
what I've done in 12 months,
like we did with Harley, go for a roast dinner, made friends and contacts in a day.
And now I go to the gym with his girlfriend every week.
Yeah, she's fab.
She's fab. So I actually do have a bit of a team in terms of, there's only so in terms of the team, I freelance quite a lot of stuff out. So I've got people that I work with regularly that are designers, that look after my legal side of stuff, that like my supply chain and all that sort of stuff. I've probably got like 60 different factories that I work with now regularly. I've got probably 5 designers that I can kind of dip into when I need them, and then I've also got a PA. But from that, it's going to be something that I'm going to have to grow and grow, because it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The problem is with this role, the concept of like product development kind of comes from my brain. So the clients want me for that side of stuff, because I've done it so many times and I know what goes into like, the experience of like the product development side of stuff and how something happens from start to finish. They want me for that. So there's only other things that I can give to other people. I wouldn't be able to hire someone to do this job, because the job is kind of me. I am the job.
Yeah.
I am that. But there is loads of things that I can hire for, like the design team, the legal side of stuff. I'll never, like I said to a client on the phone the other day, like she was like, oh, I just feel like I don't know about this. I'm like, you don't need to know about it, because I know about it. So do what you're good at and come to me with the concept and the vision of what you want to do, and I'll do the rest, because that's what you're paying me to do.
Yeah.
Not everyone can know everything. You just have to know what you're good at and outsource the rest.
100%. There's no I in team.
No, there's not. And you can't do everything yourself. When I was going through a phase of wanting to do it all myself, it was getting too much, and I can't physically keep on top of everything when I've got as many clients as what I've got right now.
So how it started for me in Dubai was, I was obviously so determined to make it work, because I knew I was never going home, ever.
Liverpool or Dubai.
Yeah, exactly. So the graft was on another level, literally just grind by the day. I remember sitting there, and I think the most people you can follow is 100 people on Instagram in any one time. So I was sat there in between not doing anything and just follow, start making contact, emojis, heart eyeing them, saying, oh, if you ever need your hair doing, let me know, I'm a blonde specialist. And that's what I think ticks the box in Dubai.
Yeah.
No one, very minimal people are blonde specialists and really get it right. So when you come here, like to find someone who can do blonde, it's like gold dust. So I had a lot of friends I'd made, because I was visiting Dubai for 6 years previous, coming out back and forth to see friends. From meeting them friends, I met other people. So I had a few girls already in Emirates, and then I just was so available and just made myself available 24/7. So then I'd go to like the Emirates crew, the girls' apartments, I'd do all 3 of them at like a ridiculous rate, and I just put myself out there. So from my plan of 3 days and 3 days sunbathing, that lasted 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And then I was like, I'm on 4 days, 5 days back to back. So I was getting taxis everywhere at the time, and I was doing well. And then I realised I still had nothing at the end of the month, thinking, where's my money gone after the rent? And it was obviously the price of taxis. So then I rented a car, had a little Matchbox, little Kia Picanto. Used to bomb it around Dubai, and then I loved it because I felt free. And I'd be like driving to downtown, driving to the other side past where the airport is. I would literally go anywhere and everywhere. I then had some people come from Abu Dhabi to me that had seen on my Instagram, because I obviously really pushed my Instagram, and I'd had the opportunity to do a few influencers at the time. And I just remember pinning all 3, thinking, this is it, I've made it, I've got my 3 influencers pinned. I was buzzing, I was so proud. And again with them, they'd ring me and say, oh, we're going out at midnight, and I'd go to the hotels at 10, 11 just to do a blow dry. And I know some people have the fear of working for free, but that's a mindset. You either want it or you don't. And for me, I saw...
And also it's doing those bits of free work has built you to where you are now, so it's definitely worth it.
I saw it as an opportunity to create my own brand, being a celebrity hairstylist. And then those celebrities that I'd done have become amazing friends, so it's opened more circles, and we've got fantastic friendships out of it. And then that just spiraled. So then I'd get a lot of people from reality TV shows contact me and said, you've done my friends, you've done this, you've done that. And I literally either had them at mine or I'd go to them. So then it became very like influencer, celebrity based, and that picked up after about 2 years here. So it'd gone from 3 days to 7 days, and I couldn't condense it. Plus all my amazing clients as well. It was constant referrals, and with me I'd never say no. It's how I am, it's who I've always been. I'm like, oh yeah, pop round at 11 o'clock, I'll put your foils in, I just can't blow dry it, we'll get your colour done, don't worry. So I was very accommodating, and it's paid off. Like for me, like I say, you put it in, you get it back. But then I hit a wall and I fell pregnant, had my gorgeous little girl, Thea Gigi, and I knew that was the one time I'd slow down. I think I worked up to 6 days before I gave birth, and then didn't know what to do with myself for the 6 days. And then had the baby, and I had that much of a client base that I just couldn't condense. I worked from home, so they were just like conveyor belts in and out. And then it hit a point where I knew I needed to step back because I didn't want to lose this time with Thea. So going back a bit, I have been a specialist in hair extensions for 22 years. I'm 30 something. And it's one of my things, extensions, transformations. I worked with Russian hair for years. The best in Liverpool, Rachel's Russian hair. And then Spectrum. I'm so fussy about my brands.
Yeah.
It was the only ones that I massively promote. Spectrum's fantastic
it's
as
so
well.
good, isn't
Absolutely love it. So I've actually been testing at this point hair for 8 years, because I always knew one day I'd bring out a hair brand. I thought multiple forms of income, so I don't have to be on my feet hairdressing to earn every day.
Yeah.
So the plan was, I said to my partner, products. I was like, I have got to slow down. So if I'm gonna let some clients go, I need another form to generate the income.
Yeah.
Where I can
Clever
also,
mindset, love.
You know, not just a pretty face. So I'd been testing the hair for 8 years, back and forth, happy, not happy, and then said to Andy, do you know what, this is the year. This is it, I'm going to 4 days and I'm setting up the hair brand and we are going hell to leather. So he was like, let's do it, we'll do it together, we'll smash it. And we went for it, and I created 12 colours at the time.
Yeah.
Got all my packaging sorted because I knew exactly how I wanted it. I wanted it to stand out because everything's marketing. So we set all that up. That's where Sota originated from.
Yeah.
Because I was sat up for hours, cringe, but I was like, the best thing in the world, gonna take over the world. I was Googling everything. What phrases means nothing's better than this, like going to the top. And all these things came up that other salons and other hair brands were called. And I thought, no, it needs to be different. And then I'd just seen the words state of the art come up on Google. I went, oh my God, SOTA. That's it, I'm taking a letter out of each one, and no one's got Sota.
Yeah.
So that's where Sota originated from, the start of my hair brand. And then that all happened very quick because I had obviously you on board, creating products, helping me with ideas. Would be lost without you. Very good friends, Daisy and Ellie.
Yeah.
They helped us launch it, which was an absolute honour. So they were our ambassadors for the brand. So we all created it together, didn't we? And I was buzzing and thought, this is it. So now, in the middle of launching that, it was the January, I want to say 2023 or 23.
Yeah.
And that
2023 sounds a long time ago, doesn't it?
So then from there, saw this premises. I remember Andy saying to me, actually, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just going to go and see this premises. And he was like, why? And I'd had a conversation the month before with my mum and said, I will never open a salon again.
Yeah, she's had that conversation with me so many times.
And then saw the premises, kept really quiet because I'm one of those people that I work in silence. I don't
And
say
I also
anything.
remember her saying to me, there's this premises, I might take on this other salon. And then I came and looked at it, and honestly, that must have been when I was out in like the February, just after you'd decided. It was like a car park. It was like a deserted car park.
Just a big rubble site, wasn't it?
And she was like, I think I've took quite a big job on. I was like, yeah, you think?
Because you come in, and this was obviously such an open space, and I remember walking in, and I don't know what I thought, because I knew I told myself, like, I'm not doing this again. I'm just in the middle of actually launching and creating my hair brand, getting the shoot set up, got the name, logos designed, branding was amazing. I was absolutely buzzing. Just still didn't know how I was going to put clients down to 3 days, but that was fine. And then walked in here, felt very quiet, had a burning ball of fire in my stomach, walked out, opened the door, and Andy went, so how was it? And I was like, it's fucking it, I'm doing it. And he went, what do you mean? I went, I'm doing it. It's 2 floors, it's huge, it's like a car park, it's a rubber site. I'm going to bring something to Dubai that is lacking and that I don't feel anyone has actually done in this industry for a long time, you know, I feel the theme and the model behind SOTA hasn't been done. And I just think coming in here and seeing it empty, the vision was huge. And I'd like to think now I've brought that to life.
Nothing good comes from comfort zones, honey.
That's it. A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of tears.
A lot
of tears, but yeah, here we are. Obviously with SOTA meaning state of the art, following on from the hair brand, it was a given that the salon had to be named the same. And for me, SOTA is not just a salon, it's a brand I'm building. I'm creating something that hasn't been done before. There's many things in the pipeline that are completely hush hush.
I mean, I know them.
You know them, yeah, obviously. But for me, it's not just a salon, it's a community. And I feel that's how, you know, you create such an amazing warm feel, because salons can be intimidating and they can really throw people. It's not a fun place to walk into in many salons. Whereas here, we don't just build the shop, we build the staff, we build the clients, we build things together. So hence why we do a lot of teamwork, a lot of group things, a lot of wellness things, because if you build a community, you're creating more exposure and more following, and people enjoy it and support you as well.
100%.
So it isn't just a salon, there's so much more to it, and I just feel that's something that's really missing. And obviously it's basically like a members club. Chloe being top member.
I am the top member. I've even moved my PA in here because I cannot be out of this salon. And do you know what? I feel like it's more like the vibe of everything. Like you said, it's a bit more of a community feel. Like I've made, like you meet people in here, the clients and everything. It's just like an overall, it's like an experience every time you come in, and I love it.
It's eerie if you can't hear Chloe. Clients will say to me now,
"Where's Chloe?
Where's Chloe?" And I'm like, just listen, just wait. She'll be up them stairs. Hiya! With like 17 bags of food prep. Actually, things get delivered to you before you even come in.
Yeah. That's
food prep, everything comes in.
A new sign. She's like,
are the lights on at 7 a.m? I just need to run in and get sorted and get showered. I mean, she literally has her own locker in the salon. So yeah, you are top member.
Top member.
You enjoy being here.
I love being here, and also I feel like another thing of when we were saying like we work a lot together, like we work together in ways where like I can bring stuff to you, you can bring stuff to me. Like I bring loads of people in here in terms of like influencers that I know, or
yeah, you really do
for brand endorsing and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like it just works. Like everyone's always like, "Do you work here?" And I'm like, kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah, I do work here.
You work in here.
Yeah.
You literally like set up shop in here. But you do, I mean, you know, Chloe's like contact list is endless, and
the black book is black booking.
It really is. And just obviously so grateful that, one, I think we're both so driven.
Yeah.
You're the most entrepreneurial driven person I've ever met. You're like a battery that never runs out. She's just endless.
The
Duracell bunny. And I feel like we bounce off each other so many ways. If you're down, I pick you up. If I'm down, you pick me up. If we're both down, it's absolute carnage, but we'll both pick each other up.
100%.
I just think it works.
It does. It works.
And obviously being in the salon, clients you've ended up gaining from being
around. And if I wasn't in here, I wouldn't have met those clients. And if I wasn't, one of the clients that I actually met was because we'd had a bit of a mess up on New Year's Eve last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I ended up making friends with her because you were supposed to be on holiday and weren't in the salon.
Yeah.
And now I've got a client from her. So it's funny how the world works.
Client and friends.
Yeah, she's one of our really good friends.
Yeah, that's key.
So that's really why we're doing these SOTA chats. We sit on here and chat shit every day.
Every day, it's like the diary room.
Yeah, you might hear some secrets. We're going to get some guests on, and we're going to chat about business, life, living in Dubai,
Boss
what we've been up
juicy
to.
Gossip.
Yeah.
That's why we brought it to life.
So we're on the
sofa.
So stay tuned for episode 2.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and remember to drop us a follow because there's more to come.